Hey everyone, this is Mr. Everything, and today I wanted to do my PS4 Game Collection. I'm not sure how relevant these are, but I haven't done one since maybe 2015. That was strictly with the Xbox One. I didn't have a PS4 at the time, and in that time, which was already 4 years, which is crazy, these consoles are at the end of their life already. And they're still pretty good. The PS3 and 360 had an awful lot of great games at the end, but the graphics, especially for like Grand Theft Auto 5, 2 discs, some games 3 discs, it was definitely a new standard was needed. And with these current consoles, which are now becoming passe, they were, even to this day, they still can pretty much provide everything, but now that everyone wants 4K or has 4K TVs, most people seem to want the 60 frames, but it's kind of a one or the other. And I'm talking strictly the X and the Pro, the only ones that are even close to doing this. It's basically one or the other. And since it's kind of a balancing act, you get the 4K, but then you get the 30 frames per second, and you're thinking, well, I have all this power, but I can't have 60. So basically, that's the need for the new consoles, is just to have that 4K 60, hopefully on most games, if not all games, is the standard. But that, aside from just that random rant, I think that the PS4 and Xbox One both still have great games to this day. They don't really feel throttled. Again, it's just that 4K race that they're all going for. But I figured that since everything's so digital now, probably at least half of my games are digital. So I did like just having the stack of games and showing off the cover and talking about them. But it would just be too fragmented to do it that way because so many of my games are digital. So I thought that I would just go through, and Battlefield 1, I have it on both consoles. It's definitely fun, the multiplayer. I never really got into the single player of it. It's just kind of fragmented missions, but it's alright. Battlefield 4 is obviously a last gen game, but it was available, and it was definitely something I missed playing. I wish that there was still a community. I think there's sometimes some lobbies open or servers, but that's something I haven't touched because there's just too many other games. Beyond Two Souls, I remember seeing some gameplay of it years ago. I thought it was neat. It's a PlayStation Plus game. I've never played it. Unfortunately, that's going to be the theme of most of these. Most of these games I have not played. I just got into PS4 a few years ago, and I have so many games. Unfortunately, most of them don't get played. It's kind of an addiction just to have them. Maybe it kind of doesn't make sense to have all these games, but it's better to be addicted to them than crack. So, Bloodborne, I remember a lot of buzz around this game. I've never played it. I actually have Call of Duty Ghost disc in right now. I'm revisiting that. It's kind of the last traditional Call of Duty. I know we had World War II, which was a nice departure from the advanced EXO, jumping around, flying Call of Duties, definitely. But it was definitely, at the time, I thought it was the worst, and it's kind of fun to go back to it, but the graphics are a little bland, the color palette's terrible, it's just like this tannish, brown, gray world. But the campaign, the first few missions started out slow, but then after that it was actually a really memorable campaign, and since I think Infinity Ward has to get away from the EXO and everything, I feel like they'll either announce a Modern Warfare 4 or hopefully a Ghost 2, since this game had a huge cliffhanger for a Ghost 2, to where I really don't know how you would do a Modern Warfare 4 unless you didn't have a campaign or something, since the story kind of ended. So this game I never played. Crash, it definitely looks great on the Pro. It's very high resolution, sharp looking. Played it a little bit. Deus Ex Mankind Divided I've never touched. Again, that's one of the many PS Plus games I have. Heavy Rain's obviously, anyone that has a PS3 knows this game. I've always wanted to play it. I know you can put a lot of time into this, and I do like these different games that aren't just strictly an FPS or a sports game or something. It's something different. And again, it's one I haven't played. Definitely my favorite game of this generation is Horizon Zero Dawn. One of the very few games that has an incredible amount of hype that they say is great, and then I play it and it lives up to the hype. Generally, it's the exact opposite. It's the game that I hear is bad or has problems, and I go in thinking lowly of it, and I love it. This one exceeded my expectations, which is very rare for any game this day since they're all overhyped. It played well. It was just missing a wee little bit. There just could have been a little bit more progression to the characters, more of a Mass Effect dialogue, a little bit more consequences to what you say and do. Nothing really alters the storyline that much. I know there's a decision at the beginning of the game which will make things a little different, but it's just like one cutscene, and I think the rest of the game continues regardless to how that goes down. It's an excellent game. I beat it. It's one of the only games I just played religiously for hours and hours and hours every day for a few weeks. One day I think I played it almost the entire day and didn't sleep. It was just so addicting. I haven't gone back to it. I did download the DLC a while ago. I definitely should play that and completely finish the game. They have the New Game Plus and everything, but I would probably just like to finish the DLC and hope for the second one to come out or be announced soon. Infamous Second Son was another PS Plus game that I've never played. It was a launch title for the PS4. Same with Knack, a game that I would have never bought, but it was free, so I downloaded it. Mad Max, another game I know nothing about, never played it. Madden 18, definitely put a lot into this. This was the first year that I really played Ultimate Team a ton, and it really showed me just how flawed Madden is, and Madden 18 was one of the worst for like play just being crippled almost, like the QB sneak to where it used to be you could run, or hopefully this time you just fell and you'd like gain like an inch. So just all the flaws people talked about when you play Ultimate Team, and it would be beginner, then the difficulty raises, and they had that other with the sim and the arcade, like there was two different layers of difficulty that meshed together, and when you could exploit that and realize that you could throw a pass, a Hail Mary on an easy Ultimate Team and they catch it and the DB's like not even on you, then you can get a touchdown, and if anyone tries to tackle you, you break the tackle, and you play on a higher level and like your receiver completely sucks, he's not even in range for the pass, and then it gets picked off every time. It's just, you can kind of realize how you're kind of being cheated. It's not so much your skill set, but just what the game allows you to do for the difficulty. Mafia 3 is a game never played. Metal Gear Solid 5 definitely was. I never really played these types of games. Like I just pictured it as a Japanese game with a big PlayStation folklore, and I really thought so highly of this series because I never touched it, but I always heard so much about it. The opening is just crazy. All this time you're in the hospital bed. I thought it was going to be some huge story-driven game, and I was so disappointed when it was just like an open world series of random missions where you keep revisiting the same locations and the enemies just randomly come back and you just keep killing them, and then they'll bring the VIP to that same location that you killed everyone at, and I kind of quit playing it. But it has excellent controls, excellent feel. It's just that I assume that the older ones weren't like that because I don't think they were. So again, that's the trade-off between open world and linear. I would have rather it have been more linear. Mighty Number 9, I think that's Mega Man or something, but for copyright they changed it. I think that's what I might have heard. I know nothing about this. MLB Show 17, I'm a big baseball fan, love MLB The Show. It's definitely getting a little long in the tooth. There's not that many changes, but I had to have it. That was like I think the first game that I bought when I got a PS4. Plants vs. Zombies, never played it. Ratchet and Clank, I think it's the remaster of the first one. I don't even know if I played the first Ratchet and Clank on the PS2. I know I've played Up Your Arsenal. Not sure if that's 3 or if there is because I know I played 2 of them. I think I played the second, the third, and Deadlock, which I think was the Gauntlet like game show type or whatever. I rented that one and beat it, but I don't think I played this first one, so I can't say much. One of the worst decisions is I own this game and I've never played it. I just wanted to have it. It's obviously a huge PS3 game, remastered, so I should play it. But it's, again, so many games, which one do you invest your time in? One of the best games to me, again, one of those situations where a game that had horrible reviews, I got it for free, and then I played it and I was blown, because I kept thinking in my mind, like after the first mission, I was like, is this game over yet? Because of all the reviews saying the game's so quick, you don't get your money's worth. So I kept playing. I was like 3 hours in, and I'm like, oh, I must be at the end, and then there's another level and another level and another level. and the graphics were great. I know there's the 16 or the 20:1:9 scaling, doesn't bother me a bit. If that meant at that time that that was how they peaked out that extra graphical, delivery, it's fine by me. I loved the story, had a great cliffhanger. Probably won't see another game in this, lore or whatever, which is a shame because it was really good. Trackmania I never played. Another one that I have and I never played, which is one I know I'm really missing out on, is Uncharted 4. I know the graphics are great, the story's great, and I really should play it. I know there's nothing that will disappoint me about this game because I did play the first and the second and completed them. I never touched the third. And Wipeout, I remember playing this, I think mostly on the Vita. I might have played it a little bit on the PS3. It's kind of just a kill time game. It's great looking, especially this game. I'm not sure if it's 4K on the Pro, but whatever it is, I know it's like 60 frames. It looks great. So when I do play it, I'm very pleased with it. I believe the games in this folder that I made were ones that I basically were disc games that I bought as soon as I bought the system, and then a few that I either beat and just put them out of the way, and then the ones up at the top here that I haven't put in a folder were newer ones that I just kind of kept up here for easy access. But again, I guess my addiction comes into play where I just kept buying games and not playing them, so they're just all scattered. MLB 18, I think it's a much better experience than 17. I guess that's really all there is to say about that. Black Ops 4, I bought it. I did that like the last few years. That's what I've done. I'm like, I hate Call of Duty. I don't like the exo stuff. I don't like the futuristic. World War II looked good, so I bought it, and I was pretty happy with it. But then after a while, it did get a little boring because the weapons were just a little bit too far departed from what I was used to, at least with a modern warfare setting. But that was realistic to that game, so I can't complain. And I kind of thought the same about 4. I was like, I definitely don't want it. It looks like a rehash of 3. I really wanted it for Blackout, but then I started playing H1Z1, and then it was too much of a difference, so I just never got into Blackout. I rarely play this. Nothing, you're really not losing out. Hopefully they mix up the Call of Duty formula, because I just don't think these type of games are going to keep them up at the top if they're even there anymore. And then I guess it's Yakuza. When I first got a PS4, there was one of them. I don't think it was this one, but it was one of them that was for sale. And I did some research, and it seems like a pretty cool game. But it's probably one of those games that I'll play, but I won't. Destiny 2, that was a free game. I like Destiny, I like the controls and everything. I played a fair amount of the original Destiny. This one I haven't touched too much. I'm not sure if it comes with the DLC, the Forsaken DLC. I'm not into Destiny 2, so I don't really know what's going on. I'm not sure if this came with the DLC for free or if it's just been renamed Forsaken because it is like that season of the game or however that goes. Modern Warfare Remastered is a game that I had for the Xbox One, and then they offered it for free, so I sold that copy and just have it digitally on my PS4. I'm not sure, but from what I looked up, the Xbox One game did not say it was enhanced for the One. It didn't say it was 4K or anything, which seems weird because I know most games that can be enhanced or remastered are for the Xbox One, to where this clearly states that it is enhanced for the PS4 Pro, so I'd stick with this version anyway. Hitman was I think it was a free game from PS Plus. Sometimes they offer games that aren't PS Plus, like I think Destiny was just like a free game for everyone a year ago. This is a game I'll probably never play. Killzone Shadowfall I only got into because when I was doing research interviews on Horizon Zero Dawn, it's the same team that made the Killzone games that did something completely different with Horizon Zero Dawn, which was awesome. And a lot of the design and stuff of that game was actually tested in Killzone, which was neat. Like they were talking about it in the interview, so I bought it 'cause it's very cheap. Hopefully one day I'll play it, but I'm sure I won't. H1Z1, which for whatever reason amongst my friends I always call HZN1 and sometimes H1N1. I'm not into the battle royale games, but a few of my friends wanted me to play it, and It's definitely one of the more fun ones. The graphics aren't the best, but they have been improved. I think it's still just the one map. I'm definitely not gonna. I never touched Fortnite, and I know there's Apex and some others, but this one was good enough for me. When again playing Blackout, it was too much of a departure. I felt that this game was a little more well-rounded, but that's probably just because I'm not into the battle royale, and this is just the one that I've kind of attached to, but I haven't really played it much recently. Black Ops 3, definitely put a lot of time into that on both the Xbox and PS4. It's something I've come to like. I think I like it more than Black Ops 4, but to me Black Ops 2 is the holy grail, and the campaign of this game was just absolutely horrible. It just drug on. It had no purpose, and I guess if that's how bad it was, it's a good thing they didn't put a campaign in Black Ops 4. WWE 2K18. I do not like the modern WWE games, but this one had like a different lighting engine or something, and the graphics look good, but it's not fun. So I played it mostly just to watch some entrances. I haven't touched it since. God of War 3 remastered. I played the first God of War. It was at the time on PS2. At the time, it was my favorite game. It just blew me away. So obviously, I would pick this up when it was available. I played it for a good bit for an old game. It definitely got my interest, but again, I haven't touched it since. Drive Club was a game that I wanted. Definitely some of the exclusive on PlayStation are great, and I wanted this compared to the Forza games that I'm used to playing. I had a lot of fun with it, and I believe that's all the games I have on here. So in closing, I started out this console generation with an Xbox One, so I have the majority of my games on there. And then when I purchased the PS4, I got the Pro, so I started buying multi-platform games on this system until I ended up buying an Xbox One X, and so now my attention's back on it. So again, a lot of these games are games I've never played, and aside from exclusives, I'm not sure how much more I'll be putting on here. I bought a 4TB external drive, but now I'm kind of thinking I need a larger external drive on my Xbox. Definitely where PlayStation wins by far. Well, one thing is the player count. They obviously have sold so many more units. Games like Call of Duty, and especially like Call of Duty Ghosts, where there's still like 1,000 people playing, to where on the Xbox version, I have no clue, there might only be 100 or something. It is better for the longevity, and just if you're looking for some reason, if you just want to have the copy or the platform that has more people playing for Call of Duty or something, that would be PlayStation. But for me, just the exclusives like Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, Uncharted, The Last of Us, and then just all of the exclusives they have, where Xbox seems to have very few, aside from Halo and Forza, and then the games that they say will come out in 2 years, which no one cares about for today. And the Xbox has backwards compatibility and a bunch of other things that make me still spend a ton of time on the Xbox compared to the PlayStation. I recommend, if you can do it, to get both, and I think these consoles will have longevity for years to come. And I would have liked to have done, again, a more traditional review or collection showing. I'm not sure how you'd word it, but with all these digital copies, it would just been very weird to talk about a digital game while I'm in front of a stack of physical games. So hopefully you enjoy just me talking nonsense for however long. I think it's at least a change. I'm not sure how many other people have done this, but it was my opinion on the PS4 games that I own and the ones that have left memorable experiences with me. So thanks for watching. I think I should do one of these for my Xbox, but I have way more games, so that'll definitely be a challenge. Thanks for watching, and you'll see me in the next one. Have a good one.